Good evening. Tonight, we're looking at Europe, specifically its two biggest economic heavyweights, Germany and France. Now you might think of them as the stoic, efficient engineer and the philosophical, wine-loving artist of the continent. And while those stereotypes are reductive and frankly a little lazy, by 2025, one of them is undeniably, demonstrably richer. And it's not the one famous for cheese-based surrender jokes, which for the record are also lazy. The question is, why is Germany richer than France? It's a fascinating puzzle, involving everything from tiny, hyper-specialized businesses to massive export machines and fundamentally different approaches to running a country. So how did this happen? How did the land of bratwurst and bureaucracy pull so far ahead of the land of baguettes and bureaucracy? It's not just a simple matter of one working harder than the other. It's a complex tapestry woven from decades of policy decisions, cultural attitudes towards work and debt, and the very structure of their economies. It's like comparing a meticulously engineered Porsche to a beautifully designed Citroën. Both are impressive, but one is built for sustained high-performance output on the global autobahn, while the other is, well, more likely to be blockading a highway in protest. Tonight, we are going to dive deep into this. We'll break down the 7 key reasons behind Germany's economic dominance over its Gallic neighbour. We'll look at the raw numbers, the industrial might, the export powerhouses, the surprisingly potent small businesses, the workforce strategies, the national checkbooks, and the political climates that define them. By the end of this, you'll understand exactly why, in 2025, Germany is holding the bigger, more fiscally responsible wallet. So grab a pretzel or a croissant and let's get into it. Let's start with the big, flashing, impossible-to-ignore scoreboard gross domestic product, or GDP. Think of it as the total value of everything a country produces in a year. In 2025, Germany's nominal GDP is projected to be a colossal $4.92 trillion. That's not just a big number. It's a gargantuan, world-altering figure that makes Germany the largest economy in Europe and astoundingly the third largest in the entire world, right behind the US and China. It's like being the bronze medalist in the Global Economic Olympics, which is impressive, especially when you remember the country is smaller than Montana. It's an economic juggernaut, plain and simple, a testament to its sheer productive power. Now, let's look across the Rhine to France. Their projected GDP for 2025 is a very respectable $3.11 trillion. That's still a massive economy, don't get me wrong. It places them comfortably in the top 10 globally. But the gap is the crucial part here. Germany's economy isn't just a little bigger, it's over 58% larger than France's. That's a difference of $1.81 trillion. To put that in perspective, the gap alone is bigger than the entire economy of Australia. It's not a rounding error, it's a chasm. This fundamental disparity in sheer economic size is the foundation upon which all the other differences we're about to discuss are built. Germany is simply playing in a different league. So, where does all that German money come from? A huge part of the answer lies in its industrial base. Germany is, at its core, a nation of makers. It's a manufacturing powerhouse, a cathedral of advanced engineering. Think of iconic brands like Volkswagen, Siemens and Bosch. They are masters of producing high-value, complex goods. Cars, industrial machinery, chemical products, and precision tools. This isn't just about assembling things. It's about a deep-rooted culture of Vorsprung durch Technik, advancement through technology. Their factories are some of the most automated and efficient on the planet, constantly innovating to stay ahead. This industrial core provides a stable, high-wage employment base that is less susceptible to the whims of the global market. France, by contrast, has a different economic structure. While it certainly has its own industrial champions like Airbus and LVMH, its economy leans much more heavily on the service sector and, significantly, on public spending. Tourism, finance and retail are huge, but a large portion of the French economy is driven by the state itself. This creates a different kind of economic reality. While a strong service sector is great, it can be more volatile, and a heavy reliance on public spending can strain national finances, especially when economic times get tough. It's the difference between an economy built on exporting tangible, high-tech machines and one built more on selling experiences and state-funded services. If Germany's economy is a factory, then its engine is exports. The Germans are staggeringly good at selling their stuff to other countries. In a typical year, exports of goods and services make up over 45% of Germany's entire GDP. That is an absolutely massive figure. It means that nearly half of the country's economic activity is dependent on the global appetite for German products. From luxury sedans cruising through Shanghai to industrial turbines powering a factory in Brazil, the Made in Germany label is a global seal of quality and reliability. This export-oriented model floods the country with foreign currency, fuels its industries, and creates a massive trade surplus, meaning they sell far more than they buy. France, on the other hand, struggles in this department. While it exports luxury goods, wine, and aircraft, it consistently runs a trade deficit. This means it buys more from the world than it sells. Its exports as a percentage of GDP are significantly lower than Germany's, hovering closer to 30%. This isn't just a statistical quirk, it's a structural weakness. It means that year after year more money is flowing out of France to pay for imports than is flowing in from its exports. This creates a constant drag on the economy, a bit like trying to fill a bathtub with the drain open. Germany's export machine is a powerful engine for growth, while France's trade imbalance is a persistent headwind. Now, when we think of the German economy, it's easy to focus on the giants like BMW or SAP. But honestly, the true beating heart of its success is something called the Mittelstand. This term refers to the vast ecosystem of small and medium-sized enterprises, or SMEs, that form the backbone of the economy. These aren't your typical small businesses. Many are family-owned, often for generations, and are world leaders in highly specialized niche markets. They might make a specific type of valve for a pipeline, a particular kind of lens for a scientific instrument, or a unique adhesive for the aerospace industry. They are the hidden champions of the global economy. These Mittelstand firms are obsessively focused on quality, innovation, and long-term stability rather than short-term profits. They invest heavily in research and development and maintain deep relationships with their customers and employees. Crucially, they are intensely export-oriented, punching far above their weight on the global stage. This network of thousands of highly efficient, resilient, and innovative companies provides an incredible amount of stability and high-quality jobs, insulating the German economy from shocks. France has SMEs, of course, but it lacks this deep, culturally ingrained ecosystem of specialized, export-focused industrial firms that gives Germany such a unique and powerful advantage. An economy is only as strong as its workforce, and here we see one of the most stark contrasts between Germany and France. Let's look at unemployment. In 2025, Germany's unemployment rate is enviably low, sitting around 3.5%. This is close to what economists consider full employment. In France, the picture is very different, with an unemployment rate of about 7.3%, more than double Germany's figure. This isn't a recent development. It's a persistent, long-term challenge for France, particularly among its youth. This gap represents millions of people, a huge pool of untapped potential in France, and a significant social and economic burden. The why behind this gap is multifaceted, but a key factor is workforce training. Germany is world famous for its dual vocational training system. This brilliant model combines classroom education with paid on-the-job apprenticeships, often within those Mittelstand companies we just talked about. Young people learn practical, in-demand skills that are directly aligned with what industry needs, ensuring a smooth transition into stable, well-paying jobs. France's system is more traditionally academic and centralized, often creating a mismatch between the skills graduates have and the skills employers are looking for. Germany invests in creating the workforce it needs. France often finds itself with a workforce that needs to be retrained. Let's talk about how these two countries manage their national finances, because it's like comparing a diligent accountant with a friend who always insists on splitting the bill, but somehow never has cash. Germany has a deeply ingrained culture of fiscal discipline, famously known as the Schwarze Null or Black Zero policy, which aims for balanced budgets. They are allergic to deficits. This prudence means they generally keep public spending in check and are cautious about accumulating debt. While they've taken on debt to handle recent crises, their overall approach is one of extreme caution. This keeps their borrowing costs low and gives them a massive financial cushion to weather economic storms. France, bless its heart, has a more relaxed, shall we say, bon vivant approach to public finance. It consistently runs high budget deficits and has a much higher public debt to GDP ratio, often soaring well over 110%. This is the result of a large state, generous social programs, and a political culture where cutting spending is incredibly difficult. While these social programs have benefits, this high level of debt acts as a constant strain on the economy. It means more of the national budget goes to paying interest, leaving less for investment. It also makes the country more vulnerable to interest rate hikes and financial market panics. Germany's fiscal prudence is a source of strength and stability. France's debt is a source of persistent vulnerability. Finally, let's look at the political landscape, because economic policy doesn't happen in a vacuum. Germany's political system is a federal republic built on consensus and coalition building. While their politics can be boring, and believe me, they can be incredibly boring, this boredom is a feature, not a bug. It leads to remarkable policy continuity and stability. Governments change, but the fundamental economic direction remains steady. This predictability is golden for businesses, which need a stable environment to make long-term investments. The federal structure also allows regions to tailor policies to their local economic strengths, fostering resilience from the ground up. France, in contrast, has a highly centralized presidential system that can lead to more dramatic swings in policy. More visibly, France has a vibrant, and I mean very vibrant, tradition of social unrest. Protests, blockades, and nationwide strikes are a common feature of the political landscape, often in response to economic reforms. While this is a powerful expression of democratic will, it also creates significant economic disruption and uncertainty. It makes it much harder for any government to implement difficult but necessary structural reforms. The German model prioritizes stability and incremental change, creating a calm sea for its economic ship. The French model often feels like trying to navigate that same ship through a recurring political hurricane. So, there you have it. When you put it all together, the picture becomes incredibly clear. Germany's economic supremacy in 2025 isn't down to one single silver bullet, but rather a powerful combination of interlocking strengths. It starts with the sheer size of its economy, a GDP that dwarfs its neighbor. This is built on a formidable industrial base and an export machine that relentlessly churns out high-value goods for the entire world, creating massive trade surpluses. This machine isn't just run by giants, but by the hidden army of the Mittelstand, the hyper-specialized, innovative and stable medium-sized firms that form the economy's unbreakable backbone. This industrial might is powered by a workforce that is expertly trained for the jobs that actually exist, thanks to a world-class vocational system that keeps unemployment incredibly low. All of this is managed with a culture of strict fiscal discipline, keeping national debt in check and ensuring the country is prepared for rainy days. And underpinning everything is a political system that, while perhaps unexciting, provides the stability and predictability that long-term economic prosperity requires. It is a holistic, self-reinforcing system built for success, from its larger GDP and industrial core to its export power, efficient Mittelstand, well-trained workforce, prudent financial management and stable political climate. Every piece fits together. While France remains a major global economic and cultural force, it is hampered by structural weaknesses in many of these same areas. These factors combined make Germany the richer nation in 2025, and that, as they say, is that. Good night.